I'm not sure.
2009?
No, that's fine. I graduated from here 2 years ago myself, so.
Brian, I don't know if I need to do anything to make this room.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm one.
I know. She gave me the options what I wanted to be, so I chose 2, 1 out of 10. But yeah, so what area are you in?
IT.
IT, what's
Software development.
software development? Oh, all you smart people. Oh well, I'm in networking, and you're in software development as well.
Yeah.
So should be interesting. Hopefully, get more people in networking. Maybe, I doubt it.
What is this anyway?
It's it's a study. We've got the 2-page sheet on here that tells you a little bit about it, but essentially, I got called up, and it's a mixed methods study, and they need participants from.
Yeah, I just got some phone call like a week or
Chris
two
Severson?
ago. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from Chris too. That's why I went as Jessica. I was like, I could have swore it was a man talking to me on the phone. I didn't want to sound like a jerk. I feel like not what I expected.
Hi, everyone. We're just going to wait until 12:05 because I know someone has got a specific
That's fine.
transportation thing, and then we'll get started because I want to be respectful of your time, okay?
Mm-hmm. What semester are you in? First, yeah.
Absolutely. Come on in.
Me too. A lot to take in.
Am I sitting?
Anywhere you
Anywhere
want.
you want. Pick a spot anywhere except for where the blue glass is.
The blue glass?
That's
Oh.
where I'm sitting.
I'm okay. Hello.
Oh,
How's it going?
good.
How are your classes coming along?
Pretty good.
Awesome.
Are you 4th semester?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, yeah, since you were in that class with me.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have been in.
You shouldn't have been in it?
No, because I'm a 1st semester.
Oh, that makes sense. IT career skills kind of goes towards your...
Right. It's okay though. I've taken a career skills class before, so I kind of breezed through it. Wasn't that hard.
Well, let's go ahead and get started, and then if other people show up, then we can bring them up to speed, okay? But I do want to be respectful of everyone's time here and get out of here in a timely fashion. In front of, well, let me first introduce myself. My name is Jessica Benton. I am the administrative assistant in the School of Business and Community Services. The reason why you are here today is NTC is working with a doctoral student to complete their dissertation, and part of that includes hosting a focus group, okay? Mm-hmm. So getting everyone here together to just discuss a couple of questions. This is very similar to what I talked to you all about on the phone. This is going to be a very informal or relatively informal format because ultimately I want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard, and this should flow naturally. A question should come out and then everyone should just be able to provide their own input or perspective freely, okay? As I stated in the, I'll let you ask your question. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just curious about this student whose dissertation this is. Are they going to be showing up?
No, because of the student is not going to show up because they don't want to have any sort of a bias. You know, you should be able to provide your information, your feedback freely without worrying about what that student wants to hear.
So
Does that make sense?
It does. I'm just okay. I mean, maybe some people would be.
You know, because
swayed by
some
it.
people may be influenced by having the candidate present, because you know we all have a tendency to want to do our best and want to please.
Oh yeah, yep.
So you know, this way it is. I have no vested interest in the conversation aside from making sure that it's accurately captured.
Okay.
All right. So if you haven't already, there should be a 3-page document in front of you that is the explanation of the purpose of the study, risks potentially associated, the research procedures that are going to be conducted. And if you could please read through that and sign off on that you agree to the terms of what is going to happen today, that would be great. I will collect them at the end of the day. And then what will happen is, with all of the information collected, I will put your student ID numbers into a randomizer, and from there the gift cards will be distributed accordingly. We will contact you via email, okay? Does anyone have any further questions before we get started? We all good?
I think so.
Okay, great. Now what I'm going to ask, for the sake of anonymity, is, we are being recorded right now, and this is strictly for the purpose of my transcribing the conversations later on, okay? So from this point on, if you could please refer to yourself as the number in front of you. And that's just one more way to protect your identity as the information is captured. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so without further ado, why don't we get started? Okay. So as you look at the single page document, this is a list of the questions that we are going to be looking at and the reason why we are asking these questions. Okay, the study is looking to gather data regarding these three questions. What are the variables influencing student college choice for students attending NTC? What are the variables influencing student selection of an IT program for students attending NTC? And how do the participants of the IT programs make sense of the career choices at NTC? Okay, so the first question that we want to kind of start the conversation with is going to be, there are many reasons that people choose IT as a career. What about IT inspires you? Anyone can just jump on in.
The job market.
And, I'm sorry, what number are you?
1.
Okay, and what specifically about the job market?
Well, I saw a thing on the city pages before I enrolled that there's more jobs than graduates.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go ahead.
Okay, great.
As participant number 2, I chose the IT career emphasis from one of my previous jobs. I was an electrician's help prior to this, and I saw some of the work that the people are doing on the other end of my job. To me seems simpler but smarter, and I figured that I could do that job as easily as anybody if I put the schooling in. That's why I'm here.
Great.
I chose IT because of all the opportunities that are present and the variety of work environments you can have. And making something from writing the code, I find to be sort of inspiring because it's like creative, but it also has a purpose.
Okay, and participant
Participant
number 5.
5, right? Okay. What about IT inspires you? I like it how it's always changing and adapting, and it can always change. I like it to see that I'm a pretty creative person, and I see IT being a creative field where I can think outside of the box. You know, some person could have one process work one way, and another person can have it work 10 times better. And I think that's where me being very optimistic about change can really find a good job that suits for me. And there's a variety of IT jobs out there.
Okay, great. Does anyone want to expand any further on what inspires them about IT?
I like continual learning. I mean, I like that it offers continual learning. It's not a stagnant field. You don't hit a plateau where you know everything. There's always going to be new technology coming out that you're going to have to keep up with, which I find fascinating.
New challenges and puzzles that you have to solve every day. isn't like a job where you just keep repeating doing the same thing over and over. It changes day to day and project to project.
And it also requires a sort of teamwork because, I mean, yes, you're working alone in projects, but majority of IT, you are with a team. And I find that also interesting too because I like working with the team.
You're good?
Another one.
Okay, great. And let's move on to the second question, okay? NTC allocates resources to promote IT programs. Here are some of the resources that IT uses to, or NTC uses to promote IT. The ITech, or Information Technology Entrepreneurial Center, and IT facilities, summer IT camp, IT dual credit classes, which are classes that are conducted at the high school level, and Make IT Happen, and then the community open house that is hosted here at NTC. Did you have any of these resources, did any of these resources influence your selection of an IT program at NTC? And if so, which one of them influenced you? If not, what are the resources that you find to have influenced your selection of an IT program at NTC?
What is Make IT Happen?
Make IT Happen is it's a campus event that brings high school students on site to participate. It's kind of like Math Olympics. You come to campus and then there's competitions similar to DECA or anything else where you have competitions on programming, web design, certain things like that. But it involves area high school students.
What's iTech? I forgot. I was told what it was earlier, but I forgot.
Okay, it's the Information Technology Entrepreneurial Center. You know that big, bright room right off of A122
Yep.
with all the technology and fun stuff? That's iTech.
Oh.
So the dorks and nerds hang out, including myself.
It hurts my eyes when I walk by it. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead first then, as participant 2, to answer the question.
Okay.
Do you have any of these resources influence you? I actually had none of these resources influence me in choosing this campus, but I'm very happy that they're there. I'd like to take advantage of these resources further on in my career since I'm only a first semester, and I'm always happy to see there's things to help me along the way.
Participant 5, and going off this gentleman said, it's a good tool to have if you definitely need some extra help. These facilities and these extra programs definitely help people if they do need that additional help. But as far as it influenced me, I guess I always had my own ambitions to do IT, not really go off of them. Like making me like IT? Is that what makes more sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would say what more influenced me would be the classes I've been a part in. Like for instance, I was in a computer hardware class that made me think maybe I want to get more into hardware and troubleshooting.
Now, was that class hardware? Did you take it here? Was that just a first thing before you chose an IT
That class
career?
was taken here.
Okay.
A rubber stamper or a pen you have to take off.
I know.
Pen to work.
Took me like a minute. I was writing nothing.
Okay, and participant number 4?
I was very undecided before I started here, and I actually took a tour of the tech when I was trying to figure out what program I wanted to go into. And the iTech lab is actually what swayed me towards IT.
Okay, so you were influenced by the opportunity
was.
to work in the iTech.
It looked like it had a lot of good resources and the technology that was present that was available for students.
Okay.
Just felt like that would be the right fit for me. Like, yeah, before that I wasn't sure I wanted to go in IT.
Excellent.
Well, none of these influenced me from joining IT, but The IT dual credit class really helped out because I didn't know what the difference between a lot of the different IT things were originally.
Okay, so the IT dual credit are courses that are offered at high schools.
Oh, that's what
Okay.
that is? Oh, then no, that's
Yeah.
not what I meant.
But, so what you're referring to is some of the foundational courses being offered across the board so
The
that
first semester,
the first
having a lot of
semester?
similar classes,
Okay.
I found that really
Okay.
helpful since I didn't know which one I would prefer, or I wasn't really even sure what the database thing was originally.
Sure.
And now I know I want to stay away from that.
Well, you got a lot of database stuff. I want to stay away from JavaScript.
Yeah, but while in the program, I found the iTech lab really helpful.
Okay, so in what I'm hearing, and just again, just to make sure for clarification purposes, is that where, for the majority gathered here, these opportunities were not necessarily influential in your selection, but since coming here and choosing your career path, you have found the resources available in places like the iTech to be a true benefit to your progression in your program. And is that a correct summary
Correct.
of that?
I think most of us were over the age before high schools really started getting more computers too.
Okay.
So I think that might have actually probably played a factor on that dual credit thing.
Okay, so just to make sure, I just want to go circle back and make sure that we cover the second part of the question, which is, since with the exception of participant 4 and iTech helping influence your selection for the rest of you, if not, what are the resources that you find to have influenced your selection? So was there anything else that influenced your selection to participate in IT? I too were course curriculum, is that correct?
Yeah, that first semester in the similar classes really helped some.
Oh. Hi.
Sorry, I don't know the late. I got out of work.
That's fine. Come on in, have a seat, please. At one of the places with the table tent. Just to catch you up to speed real quick, we are, from this point on, I'm going to ask for anonymity purposes that you refer to yourself as the number on there. We are being recorded, and I am more than happy to get you caught up afterwards. But right now we're discussing question number 2. And question number 2 is as follows. The NTC allocates resources to promote IT programs. Here are some of the resources that NTC uses to promote IT. iTech, or the Information Technology Entrepreneurial Center, and IT facilities. The Summer IT Camp, IT dual credit classes, which are classes that are college level that are conducted at the high school level, so students receive college credit in essence as they prepare to graduate high school. Make IT Happen, which is an event that happens on campus where high school students work in teams to compete in things like programming, web design, networking, challenges that they have to solve. And then the Community Open House. So did any of these resources influence your selection of an IT program at NTC? If so, which influenced your decision? If not, what did influence you? What resources did influence you to choose IT at NTC? Putting you on the spot right now. Sorry about that.
Well, the big thing for me was the IT facilities.
Okay.
I read in the paper, I think it was 2 years ago, about all the extra money that they had put into to remodeling the IT program, and that was a big driving force for me to come back to school.
Was the investment that the college made?
Mhm.
Wonderful. What I'm going to ask is that we continue on through questions 3 and 4, and then we'll circle back and maybe touch point on one last time, or any of these other questions that, as you have had thoughts on them a little bit, maybe something else jumps out that you want to share before we conclude our focus group, okay?
Okay, so for number 3, how can colleges attract more people to the IT field? Okay, number 5.
Participant 5. In IT here, especially at school, I was thinking they could probably have like this idea where they could maybe all the IT instructors could come up with a plan where the students can make this like real life scenario, like make a program, connect it together, make the networking happen, you know, do the securities, make users, and then people outside can see what we're doing. You know, that's it. For an example, maybe the example could be like a, you know, I guess like a creating an interface for the iTech, you know, for like logins or something for students, or just some type of IT group project that all the classes can come together and create something. You know, that makes sense?
So taking, just to make sure that I'm understanding, and for clarification, taking the capstone project,
Yeah.
and integrating that across all programs,
And using
and then
that-
being able, and then turning around and sharing that final product with community leaders and potential employers.
Yes.
To
and
show.
using the iTech as a resource to make it happen there.
Okay. Okay.
That hones in on skills and also shows what the school has to offer as far as IT, and I would think IT people would probably think that would be interesting, seeing something happen like that.
I like what participant 5 said. That I think that's a really good idea. Not only, you know, to give the current students something tangible that they can do, but also to, you know, show prospective students that, you know, this is what we do here. Before I started, I really didn't know the IT program was so in depth here at NTC. I just, you know, came here because it's the Wausau campus, and I live in Wausau, and I wanted to do IT stuff. I had no idea what the school would offer, but I didn't have to drive anywhere to come to this school. So if I had known that, you know, something like that was in here, that would have, I would maybe come back sooner even. I mean, that would be a really fun project, I think, for everyone working together. Then you also get to meet other people who aren't necessarily in the same program as you. Like I am a networking student, so, you know, I don't really know anyone who's in web design, who's in software development, who's in the other classes. So it would be a good opportunity for like-minded people to collaborate on a group project like that.
Thank you.
I think the first question kind of responds the same to me on the third one about how I found out that there was a job market on the city pages, that there's more jobs than graduates. But
So, you, to understand, so are you saying then that what colleges should do is maybe shed more light on industry need?
yeah,
So there should be more articles, more information out there that just to keep the conversation relevant? I'm just trying to make sure I understand.
I'm just saying, I can't think of any other ideas to attract people.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
Well, if there was more information about IT itself, because I have found when I tell people that I'm in software development, a lot of them don't even know what it is, or they have like a weird idea of what IT actually does. And even before I enrolled in the program myself, I wasn't entirely sure what I would end up doing. So there seems to be a lot of confusion on all the different aspects of IT.
Great, thank you so very much. And then that would be you, sir. Do you
Yeah,
have anything you would like to add?
2. I spent the whole time trying to think of a good answer because I feel like I wasn't a traditional student that was attracted to IT in the standard way. I didn't look for it for a specific college. I knew where I wanted to go already, and I wasn't looking for a field because I had an idea what I wanted to get into from my job, my previous job experience. So trying to put myself in the shoes of someone that wants to go back to school but doesn't know what area, I do feel like what participant 1 said, there's not enough coverage in the media, in a way. And what participant 4 said, that people don't know what IT field is. Maybe if there was more information, either like in the paper about a need for more IT students out there and professionals, or more information on the direct website of NTC saying this is one of our bigger fields and we have a very high percentage of people getting hired in this area with well-paying jobs. I think that should be emphasized more. But I do realize that stuff is all on the website already. You just have to know where to find it, but I don't think it is advertised as readily as it should be. That's about the best I can give, since I'm not one of those people that was lost in what they wanted to look for. So
That's an excellent answer. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We're going to look at the last question now. If no one has anything else they would like to add to question 3. And question 4 is, there are 16 technical colleges in Wisconsin. All right. Why did you choose NTC as your college of choice?
How many people live in Wausau?
I do now.
Oh, yeah.
So that, just for the 3 of you that raised your hand to participant 1's question, location, proximity to your
Is that the only
work
reason?
life?
One of the reasons.
Not for me.
I mean, I guess for participant 3, I grew up here, and I'm actually here. My current job is sending me back to school to take a new position. So, I can't really leave my job to go to a different college. So proximity played a big role in it. But I guess even before I started this job, I was enrolled here under a different program. But I think it's the campus. It's a lot of it has to do with the people who are from Wausau, or at least the Wausau area, including Merrill and Hatley and Wittenberg and whatever else. But it's also, it's an inviting place. Everyone I've met here is very helpful, very nice people. So I think if you're looking for a technical college in Wisconsin, even though we maybe don't get the most coverage, I know I hear a lot of commercials for like Mid-State, but anyone who's been here for anything can see that the people here are really great. They're really helpful. If you have questions, there's always someone who can direct you, and I think that plays a big role in choosing this one other than one that is nearby.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'll go ahead of participant 2. The reason I chose NTC is because I'm a returning alumni. I already have a degree in electromechanical technologies from here, and NTC was the first tech school I went to. I went to 2 years in Marshville to get my generals at UW Wood County, and then I went another 2 years UWSP, Stevens Point, and I was so unhappy with the schooling that I had received, because I felt, as I told many people getting out of the programs there and being just short of my bachelor's degree, I was disappointed because I felt like if I was a potential employer that wanted to hire somebody, say from my area would be natural resources, I wouldn't hire me, knowing what I know I went through in schooling, because I know nothing about the jobs or the real life or anything. And then I decided I'd try tech school, so I went to NTC because they had, I forget why I chose NTC exactly, because it wasn't in my city at the time. Why did I choose it? Well, either way, I chose NTC for electromechanical because I was interested in electronics, and I was wary about the program, but when I started, I was really impressed by the faculty. They were so inviting and helpful. And one thing I really was blown away by was that a lot of my instructors were not teachers. They hadn't gone through a master's in teaching to get to the position they were. There were people that had worked in the field for 20 plus years, or 10, 15, whatever it might be, and they knew their stuff. They weren't just reteaching it. They didn't just have a paper that said, I know how to teach it. They had years of experience in the field that they were teaching on, and they were much more respected by me because they knew what they were talking about. And I got a lot more out of tech schooling than a general college degree in college schooling. So that's why I decided to come back to NTC, because I was so happy with my experiences here 3 years ago, and I am just as impressed with what's going on here as well. Faculty are still just as inviting, different teachers, but the same thing applies. They're not just people teaching degrees, they're people from their fields that come back to teach what they know to the next generation. So I don't know, I'm just very impressed with that aspect of NTC, is the faculty and the people that they find to be the instructors to the students.
Thank you.
Why did I choose NTC as your college choice? I would say because of the actual faculty care about people, and they want their students to succeed. And I'm assuming that NTC wants credibility of that, because they take credit for teaching, their students the skills they need to know to go out in the job market in IT and get a decent job, and so they can actually do their job. And I think NTC cares about that. That's why they put all this effort into providing these resources for the students and making them available. They're just not going to just put you out like a number. And that's probably why I chose NTC.
I chose NTC because I had heard really great things about it from people I knew who had gone here. And my dad went here before, when I was a kid. He went back to school, and he had a really great experience. And now actually he travels all over and has a great job. So I had the family history. And then I heard how great the IT program was. And I took a gap year after high school, so I figured out what I wanted to do. And that's when I started touring colleges. I met some of the faculty, and they all had a lot of the IT experience before they came to teach here, and seemed to actually care about the students.
I live in Wausau, and I already got a couple of degrees from at the tech.
Oh, so you are a returning student,
Yes.
a returning alum. Okay. And just as a follow-up to those of you who have talked about the positive reputation NTC has, can you share maybe, aside from word of mouth, where you had gotten that information, or has it been pretty much exclusively word of mouth?
I read a newspaper article actually about the IT program right before I enrolled. About students who had gone there and done really well.
I believe the NTC book shows the work percentages of how many students get jobs out of college, and shows that compared to other universities too. So that's also a fact about. You would assume that the reputation is good, so.
I guess, yeah, I have also bounced around from college to college, and a lot of people, it's been mostly word of mouth. People I talk to who have graduated with degree programs from NTC, people who are currently enrolled in NTC. Everyone I talk to about it tells me how much fun they have here. That they're learning something, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like work. Which I know when I was in the 4 years colleges, it really felt like work. I was trying to also work a full-time job, and I never had enough time to get what I needed done, and I also felt like I wasn't learning anything. Where here, I'm working a full-time job, but I'm actually learning something, and if ever I'm stuck, there is someone who can help me. Yeah, I mean, I guess, like I said, it's been mostly word of mouth, but the people I've talked to have all had really good things to say, and I actually can't think of anyone who's had something bad to say about NTC. Even the people who maybe have dropped out or never finished their degree program, it wasn't because of the school. It was they just had other conflicts. And I guess that's about all I have to add on that question.
Just word of mouth for me.
Okay.
Okay, so just if everyone is okay, I'm just going to circle back to question one last time, just so that participant 3 can help answer some of that question. And then if any of you have anything additional you would like to add or ask, I'll do my level best to answer any questions that you have before we conclude. Is that okay? All right. So the first question is there are many reasons that people choose an IT career. What about IT inspires you?
I would have to say the biggest thing about IT is that it's always changing, so you'll never stop learning. Even after you've got your degree and you're off working, I mean, it changes so fast. There's always more to learn, and I feel good when I learn something new. Whether someone teaches it to me or I pick it up myself while I'm out practicing. So I guess the fast pace and the type of work. I mean, I've always been interested in computers, but to actually dig into them and learn how they work is really exciting for me.
Me too.
Okay, does anyone have anything else they would like to add in terms of what these 3 questions? I want to direct you back to the top of the sheet where it says what we are looking for, what the focus of this group being pulled together is, and what we're looking at are the variables influencing student college choice for students attending NTC, the variables influencing student selection of an IT program for students attending NTC, and how do participants of IT programs make sense of career choices at NTC? So does anyone have anything they would like to expand on regarding one of those overarching themes?
How do participants of IT programs make sense of career choices at NTC? As participant 2, I make sense of my career choice by the booklet that was talked about where it says percentage of people in what program are hired out of their programs, and then also how much they make, roughly. Because that is a big deal to me. I mean, not that money is a big deal, but I'd like to be able to support myself at some point in my life. And it seems like it's getting harder and harder. So that was a big deal to see those statistics in front of me. I could run down the line of the rough area where I might want to study in, and then I could see, hey, that's a high percentage of people that are getting hired. I'll do that.
Yes, ma'am.
For choosing NTC as a college, I was homeschooled before my whole life, and NTC was extremely accepting of the fact, and I had no problems enrolling in classes or anything, which I found to be a positive because I wasn't sure how that would go.
Anyone else want to add anything?
I suppose if you change question 1 to the exact opposite, I think a lot of people think IT is fixing computers only.
Okay, and how would you
change that perception?
I don't know. I'm just, kind of saying something that I think.
I appreciate your thought. Okay, so if no one has anything else to add, I do want to thank you for your time, volunteered time here. This will conclude our session. I do have a confession in worrying about making sure that I was here and participant 2 already beat me here and making sure that everyone else was here. I did forget to bring a very voluntary sheet to fill out for just requesting some basic demographic information. If you are comfortable with staying here for the brief moments while I go run back to my office and grab that document, I would like to be able to pass that out and give you the opportunity to fill it out if you so choose. It is not expected, it is not required. Again, it is just, one more way we can compile some data for the doctorate student in question. Yes, sir.
Will the speaker still be on?
I can ask the speakers to be shut off.
No, I was just curious.
Again, we are being recorded strictly for transcription purposes, so that when I go back and I listen to this, I can capture word for word how the conversation went. Your information will remain completely 100% confidential. What will happen just if you guys want to just put your signed documents at the end of the table, I will collect those. What will happen is your names will be put into a randomizer, and that randomizer, or your student IDs, not even your names, will be put into a randomizer, and at that point, that's how we will determine who will receive one of the 3 gift cards that are going to be given in appreciation. I do want to thank you on behalf of the NTC and on behalf of the doctoral student. Your information is a tremendous wealth of knowledge and information, and it's going to really help put some local perspective onto what the student is studying. So thank you again very much. I will return in about 2 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, seriously, I can't believe I was looking through stuff. I cannot believe that I forgot to bring the demographic sheets.
And the
I'll be
table.
right back.
Microphone, I meant to say, not
I
speaker.
collect your papers.
Yeah.
Well, we're all being recorded by that microphone. You
I
don't
know,
want to
I
talk
don't know
about
why
the
I said-
election?
I don't know why I said speaker. I'm just sitting here.
Election's a joke. I didn't vote for either of them.
I vote for one. who
Mr.
does
Garrison's
the other.
going to be
I always
president
vote.
on South Park.
Yeah,
I like to have a
yes.
say.
Oh yeah?
Yes. Always, if you don't vote, you don't have a say at all. It's like giving up rights.
Yeah.
I give it my right. I just choose not to.
One of my friends was along that line. He says he's not voting so he can bitch about it. And I'm like, I don't think that's how it works.
See, I think it's actually the other way around.
Yeah, if you don't
That
vote.
you get to yell at him for not voting.
Yeah,
not the other way
I will be.
around.
Well, I mean, I don't care either way. I don't think the votes
If I
matter.
vote
I
for
think
two
it's a
people,
joke,
I
but
mean-
I'll
Well,
still do
yeah,
it.
it's all by electoral college. Popular vote doesn't always
voting for the
matter.
better of 2 evils isn't really considered a vote. Just
Yeah.
just throwing away a vote.
That's true too. I just
I want to vote
don't
for
know.
voting for me. Being American means I want to vote for something worthy.
You know what actually would fix the election? If
Mhm.
all 6 parties were always at those last debates.
Yeah,
Instead of just having the 2.
Yeah, I watched the 2 presidential debates, and I couldn't watch the
The whole
third because
debate,
the
the
first were
whole
so
time
bad.
they were focused on their own egos, fighting
Yep.
what they were doing rather than trying to fix
It was
things,
The third-
bashing each other. You know, you did this, so you did this, you said that, you know, didn't delete your emails. Come on.
yeah.
You know, third debate was the only one I saw. I watched it on ABC, and they actually interrupted for one of the senator political ads. I'm just like, wait, they seriously did that?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're uncontrollable both of them.
And if I want to vote, I might as well just vote for Chuck Norris. I mean,
Trump
Well, you
got
can do
12,000
that.
votes or something like that. So, I don't know if it was that much or more.
it'll say like
It was
a
pretty
picture
good.
show up on Google and be like, one
Yeah.
vote, Chuck Norris.
Wonder how many votes Bernie Sanders still got, regardless of him
Probably
not
quite a
running.
few still.
I hope so.
I would have voted for third party anyway, probably Gary Johnson.
Yeah, I was gonna vote Gary Johnson. I panicked at the polls, but Gary Johnson got. Last time I checked, he had like 2 or 3% of the vote total, which is something. Just stinks that this is never gonna happen. I
Just
don't
gonna
think
have to
third
be more
parties.
patient.
Third party never happens.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll have another Abraham Lincoln in office one of these days.
You know, when I was a kid, and you gotta keep in mind, you know, when you're a kid, you really don't know much about stuff. I always thought there was 3 people running for president because of Ross Perot.
Oh,
Oh well, yeah. Back
Yeah.
in the '90s, there was always 3 people running.
Well, yeah, that's what happened. You know, I'm just like, so I thought that was the way it always went. Then I found out, like, oh, so that was like a one-time thing when there was 3 people at the debate. Okay,
shouldn't be though.
yeah,
Really shouldn't be.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. We need all 6 of them to be at all the debates, just to
Yeah.
really scramble things up.
Those 2 did a good enough job though themselves. Like,
I mean, what is the perfect president? Who would you guys really want if you had the ideal president in office?
I don't really care. I think they're a figurehead. I don't think they do anything. That's just my opinion though.
What do you think?
I'm trying to think of somebody who would actually make ideally a president that's actually real, not fictional.
Elon Musk.
Yoda.
Well, yeah, Yoda.
Well, yeah, but he's fictional, so that's
I mean, he
not
should
the
be.
problem.
Most
Yeah.
people can't understand him.
Really?
It's okay.
He's awesome.
I didn't say I can't.
Nobody can understand half the people who are in electronics.
I know. It
Well,
doesn't
just
matter.
look
We'll
at
make it
George
great
W.
again.
Bush, how many things he kept saying wrong. You know, it's just like, they actually had a calendar of
Yoda makes
things
sense.
that
He makes perfect sense.
America great again, we will make it.
Yeah.
Do or do not. There is no try.
That's deep. That's pretty good.
You guys know Senator Trey Gowdy?
I heard the name. I haven't been following that closely.
I would have voted for him.
Yeah.
He's a Republican senator, but he's like, I mean, he calls everybody's bullshit.
Nice.
On both sides, so.
It is all bullshit on both sides.
Yeah.
He's, I
It'd
mean,
be nice
terrible.
having someone that just calls
In-
calls it out, but
It's like every-
Recently, he's been more directed at Hillary, but that's because Trump's been kind of handling it himself. So.
yeah.
What I don't get is like, how can you send billions and billions to third world countries when there's like,
Bill Murray. Yeah.
For the president. Oh,
Yeah.
Man,
oh,
I don't know.
I tell you, it took me a while to think of somebody that wasn't fictional.
I think we should hire people in their 90s, like late 90s, so they
Or is it
literally
not
can't.
fiction?
It's hard.
Sinus?
Like
He
they
might-
which
barely.
one's
You don't have
which?
to say it, but
I
if
know,
you
it's hard to
just fill
tell
it out, that'd be
sometimes.
really helpful.
Thank you.
It is not mandatory, but it would be helpful if you could.
I'm 45 and over.
Nice.
Really?
Don't
look like it.
No, I'm just kidding. But you know.
What's the point of the top portion if you have to write gender down anyways?
I'm sorry, what?
The sign focus group.
Maybe I did that wrong, but the top portion. You go Mr.,
Oh.
Ms., all that, but then I still have to put down. Maybe I could have left that out.
I
because
think
Well,
that's,
I think
married.
yes, and considering that with female candidates, you can have one of 3 options.
Right. It's a way of
Keeping things
not
consistent.
asking very specifically.
You guys pass me your papers when you're done. That's all.
Okay, great. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Can we put down one for an associate's degree and a technical diploma?
Absolutely. If you are pursuing more than one credential, please share that. That's
Oh,
very
okay.
important.
I don't know if I am yet. If I choose to pull out early, I can still get my technical diploma in an area, or I can continue with the 2-year. So,
That also works.
I'm actually that not pursuing that much.
I have to relook at those technical
Oh,
diplomas. I might go in for one of those too.
I'm number 2.
You are welcome to keep the